consider it if a court says it is right for one to use the state to get rich or on the basis of being a public servant and at the expense of the public. So I'm here also to plead to our consciousness and our conscience. Political consciousness and our conscience as human beings. Let us be conscientious about what we do. Let us be conscientious about serving. It mustn't be in the tongue when we speak, or in the words when we speak. It must be in the actions. It must be in the day-to-day decisions that we take. And therefore, professionalization, I do want to say, it's not some theory out there. It's what we do on a day-to-day basis. And as human resource practitioners, at the various levels at which we operate, we must be conscientious about our space. I could get from what the Premier was saying that there's some level of bullying in the workplace that is being exercised. And I just want to caution that that's against the values of our Constitution. Any public servant that abuses the responsibility, the power of the responsibility they have, because the powers we have as servants is not our original power. It's a power bestowed upon us for the responsibility that we have. Let us therefore be responsible in how we exercise that power. It can't be right that because there's a differing views on certain issues, that then I will abuse my power to deal with you. When we say we belong, it is because we all belong. In the public service, akukho farmer yamntu. Apha umuntu wathi uyakwenza unothanda, where one will do as they please. In the public service, it's a workplace. There are expectations which are regulated on how we must act, how we must resolve people's problems, how we must act in an independent way, but in a responsive way, in a responsible way when we handle issues of the public. And therefore, I do know there would be issues of onboarding and all the 5 pillars in the professionalization. But mine is really about, once we have done all the other 4 pillars, how we sustain the public service. Somebody was talking about opening MPSA. For as long as when MPSA is open, people use it irresponsibly, it will remain closed. At least between now and the 29th of May, that I can say with confidence. For me, what is wrong, irrespective of who is doing it. What is right, irrespective of who is doing it. And currently, the experience has shown that we have what we would call runaway wage bill, which the Minister of Finance is crying about every day. And what do? We add. We all know our country is financially in a corner. We all know that. But it is easy for us to take irresponsible decisions about the country that affect the country. When we just put people on PESA without applying our minds as to the efficacy of that action, we will close PESA. So that we bring sense into the system. No department has not appointed the necessary positions. Positions that I have turned down are positions where I would have interacted with the minister or with a premier and then say, if you look at your structure and what you want to do, is there nothing else you can do with what you have to achieve what you want to do? That's what we do in our houses. Or I want that, and the next day I want that. You don't sit the child down and say, look, we can afford this time. We can see next month if we can do anything about this, or next year for that matter. That's what you do in your families. At least that's what I expect as a parent that other parents are doing. The same way you deal with public finances. It's money yabantu base South Africa. We must be able to weigh where will it be, where will it have an effective impact. And therefore, it will remain closed for up to at least the 29th. We can't use such a serious commitment of hiring somebody just for fun, to be seen to be politically sound, because there's nothing politically sound about hiring where you do not need to. We must hire where there is a need. And that we do. That we do. Maybe before I love and leave you, Premier beke wathetha ngento ye-money dynamics, and I wasn't sure of what this money dynamic is. I had thought that I would have clarified it with him. But I think what I'm going to read, I'm reading a book here. This book is written by President Xi Jinping. It's Up and Out of Poverty. Nyiko ke uyakhala uthi hey le ncwadi uyifunde enye indlela You've read this book the other way. I read it, but I didn't see, I don't know, he skipped pages, I suspect. But this book says in chapter, I must go to the chapter now, a chat about entering public service. Xi Jinping says, firstly, officials must have the right foundation. The right foundation. A right foundation, okay, you get it from home. A right foundation, you get it from home. From when you are small, and the parent sees that little finger and say, hey, come on, what did you do here? You laugh and the parent deals with you. That's the foundation, that you don't mess up with that which is not yours. So he further says, an extreme view has gained traction in our society, that those who are noble and upright are above entering public service or associating with officials. Some people believe that government is a dirty place run by people with unclean hands. He further says, however, there are good and bad officials. But he says, beginning with the first day on the job, officials should ask themselves 2 questions. Why do I want to be an official? What kind of official do I want to be? Why do I want to be an official? And what kind of an official do I want to be? Before you venture into the public service. Because the few bad officials create this environment that when the people look at government, they see this filthy organization of selfish people. So those few, we must have a way to deal with so that we remove them from dirtying the public service. So professionalization is about that. It says an official has only one purpose: to benefit the people. And benefiting the people requires that officials are selfless. Only then can we eliminate corruption, which in turn provides the condition for fair